Tiruchitrambalam. Welcome to this video where we will learn about the legendary Saiva Saint Athipaththa Nayanar. He hailed from the city of Nagapattinam, which was part of the Chola kingdom. Nagapattinam can be found in eastern Tamil Nadu on the east coast of India, about 18 kilometers south of Karaikal and 50 kilometers southeast of Mayiladuthurai. As the legendary saint Nambi of the 8th century in the Common Era, who is also known as Sundaramurthy Nayanar, is the earliest known saint to have praised Athipaththa Nayanar, we can confirm that Athipaththa Nayanar has lived prior to Nambi time. Athipaththa Nayanar's Guru Puzai is annually celebrated on the Uraiyum Natchathiram of the Tamil month of Avani, which is usually from mid-August to mid-September. Circular Swamigal has shared Athipaththa Nayanar's glories with the rest of the world in his amazing Periya Puranam, and has in fact dedicated 20 songs to him in these great works. Now we know a few details about Athipaththa Nayanar, let's learn a bit more about his story. In the beautiful coastal city of Nagapattinam of the Chola kingdom, where Mother Nature shone gloriously, glorious sounds filled the atmosphere. In the city that was then home to millions of people, such was the wonderful sight it gave to anyone who saw it, that they could well have thought that the whole world was contained within this magnificent settlement itself. Dark clouds gathering in the sky appeared as if they were hills. Golden mansions and multi-story buildings painted the skyline. Girls played ball games with their friends. The city was constantly bursting with energy and glorious sounds. Imported goods from the coast, as well as goods to be exported, were constantly on the move. Adjacent to this city, surrounded by the foamy, wave-covered coast, were the closely knit settlements of the fishermen community. This community, who plied their trade in this ancient form of living, lived in small hut-like shelters where nets were abundant and visible, and constantly being dried. Swans flew in flocks to try and grab some of the catch of the fishermen, and when they were prevented from doing so by the fishermen families, they would rest on the branches of the punnai trees. Thus, the coastline was always filled with sounds of the fishermen community, and it was in a generous fisherman family where a great Sivanadiyar, a loving devotee of the all-loving Lord, was born. He constantly thought about the all-merciful Sivanaar, who has on his crest the young crescent, and it was due to this devotee's great devotion, Adhiga Bhakti, that he would be known as Athipatthar. Athipatthar was the chief of the fishermen in his area, who would skillfully maneuver their boats over the glowing sea where waves were constantly echoing. And such was the respect all the fellow fishermen had for their leader Athipatthar, that they would ensure to listen carefully and obediently to his words. When the group ventured out to fish and returned with their catch, they would present it in one pile in front of Athipatthar, and the devotee leader Athipaththar would ensure to pick the best fish of this catch and would return it to the oceans in dedication to the Lord of all Lords. This was a daily practice, regardless of the number of fish caught that day. A continuous system and a way for Athipaththar and his crew to share their gratitude and love towards the all-merciful Lord, Sivaperuman. Such was Athipatthar's steadfast and abundant love for the Lord, that even when the whole crew were only able to catch one fish, Athipaththar would release back into the sea the only fish that was caught. And due to the respect his peers had for him, they would not object to his actions. Such was Sivanar's will and his wish to share his dear Adiyar Athipatthar's glories with mankind, that he made the quantity of the daily catch remain as only one fish for many days. Athipaththar, a loyal servant of the Lord, did not have any other thoughts, and even when he himself, his family, and those around him wilted in hunger and fatigue, as they had no income to buy food when no fish were sold. Even in such a situation, Athipaththar continued his act of offering one fish towards the Lord, when that was the only fish that was caught. Such was the Lord's will that on one day, during this period of little to no income for the fisherman, a wondrous fish with golden limbs studded with pure gems of all kinds, an impossibility that the Lord made possible, fell into the net of the fisherman. Such was the value of the fish that its value may have exceeded the world. This fish, if sold, would ensure that Athipaththar, his family and his community would financially thrive for many, many generations to come. The fishermen who had secured this creature in their catch were in complete shock and could not believe what they had caught. They let their leader know. Athipaththar, who remained a great devotee of the Lord, remained unswerved from his vow to dedicate the best fish to the Lord. And thus he said, "This very different, golden, sparkling fish covered in gems is for our ruler, our Lord." He then spoke to the fish and said, "Go forth and reach the Lord's golden lotus feet." And saying these gracious words, Athipaththar let go of this miraculous fish. In this world we all live in, it has become ingrained and a rule for the whole world to constantly run after wealth. Yet our heroic and strong-minded Sivanadiyar Athipaththar had such strong, unshakable and pure love and faith in the all-loving Lord, that he did not let this worldly shackle restrain him from performing his devotional acts towards his Lord. He instantly threw away limitless worldly wealth, for he knew what true wealth really was. Sivaperuman waited no further, for he could not bear to be separated from such a loving and loyal Sivanadiyar. He gave Athipaththar the vision of his glorious Rishabharuda form. The Devas showered this wonderful scene with celestial flowers. Celestial sounds from holy instruments filled the atmosphere. Athipaththar was overwhelmed with love for the Lord and paid his respects by falling flat on the ground and prostrated before rising up again. both hands held folded together above his head. The Lord, who has a dark blue stained throat, housing the poison which he drank to protect all life. Blessed his dear devotee Athipatthar to eternally abide in the glorious Sivalokam, in the holy company of Sivanadiyargal. The glorious life and deeds of Athipaththa Nayanar have been shared with the rest of the world for many, many generations to remember this wonderful soul dear to the Lord. In the wonderful compositions of many great saints who have graced this earth since Athipaththa Nayanar's time. Let us explore a few of these compositions found within the 12 Thirumurais, Pennire Thirumurai.
பொய்யடிமை இல்லாத புலவர்க்கும் அடியேன் பொழிகருவு துஞ்சிய புகழ் சோழற்கடியேன் மெய்யடியான சிங்க முனையறைய கடியேன் விரிதிரிசுள் கடல் நாகை அதிபத்தற்கடியேன் கை தடிந்த வரி சிலையான் களி கம்பன் கலியன் கலச்சத்தி வரிஞ்செயர் குணடியார்க்கும் அடியேன் ஐயடிகள் காடவர் குணடியார்க்கும் அடியேன் ஆரூரன் ஆரூரில் அம்மான காளே திறமமர மீன்படுக்கும் பொழுது ஆங்கு ஒரு மீன் சிவற்கு அன்று உறவு அமர் மாகடற்கே விடுவோம். ஒரு நாள் கனக நிறம் அமல் மீன்பட நின்மலர்க்கு என்று விட்டோன் கமலம் புறம் அமல் நாகை அறிவத்தனாகிய பொய்யிலியே அகிலலோகமும் பொருள் முதற்றாம் எனும் அளவில் புகழும் அப்பெரும் பற்றினை புரையற அறிந்த இகழில் மெய்த்திரு தொண்டல் முன் இறைவர் தாம் விடைமேல் முகில் விசும்பு இடை அணைந்தனல் பொழிந்தனல் முகைப்பூ பஞ்சநாதமும் அழுந்தன. அதிபத்தர் பணிந்தே அஞ்சலிக்கரம் சிரமிசை அணைத்து நின்ற அவரை நஞ்சுவான் மணிமிடற்றவர் சிவலோகம் நன்னி தம் சிறப்பு உடையடியர் பாங்கு உற தலையளித்தார்.
All hail the legendary Athipaththa Nayanar.